We're going to replace the fuel system, check the parts that need to be checked, inspected, flush front and rear differentials, clean them out a little bit, do a basic inspection of some of the gears. We're going to take off the plates and do an inspection and put new gaskets on them. All right, let's warm up, dig in. All right, let's start popping this off here. Safety glasses, check. Now I gotta get up top. Oh goodness. Oh boy. All right, well, we got one of four. Yeah, that one broke. Hopefully I can pop that one out. 2 of 4. Come on, baby. Let me get another wrench. That's the thing about working on these old things. You're gonna get dirty. Don't be afraid to get dirty. Okay. Wear your eye protection when you're underneath. Woo! All right, one more, guys. Wish me luck. Luck. Let's hope this goes. You know it's gonna need new fuel line. Oh, I see. What is that, a wasp nest? Get those all the time. You can almost go in from the top. It's so rusted out. All right. And it didn't want to fall. That's good. Okay, we're just hanging on by the cap. Come on out, fella. Come on. Yeah. Yep, broke the whole rubber. It was so dry rotted. I don't know if you can see that. That fill inline is broken. All right, let's see. There's the wire. The fuel sending unit wire. See if we can't get that off there. There we go. Little crawl, guys. If you're not using crawl, you should be using it. That wire is going to get replaced. One last piece. 7/16. I know that. I know that. I know that. It's a 7/16. And where's my 7/16? These inverted flare fittings, they're always 7/16 on these, okay? Oh, we got lucky. We got lucky. All right. Okay. There's a little fuel coming out of there. That's nice. And ooh, oh boy, that stinks. Woo! All right, we got it out. Let's climb under this rig and just see what kind of a mess we got. No, well, there's the floorboard. There's the rear end of the cargo area. There's where we moved the gas tank from. Yeah, that's not too bad. Right. Here's the gas line. There's a brake line. There's a brake line. It doesn't go anywhere. And that's why we need to fix them. Here's the Dana 44. The yoke leak, as expected. Shocks look like they've been used. Yep. The outer floorboard. Yep. A muffler. Yeah, this looks good. Passenger floor. That looks good. Transfer case. Dana 18. That leaks. Or pretend we didn't see that or that wet spot. Here's the brake master cylinder. The old dried up boot. That doesn't look good. Got to address that. Looky there. The front Dana 25 yoke's not leaking yet. Coilover shocks. It's interesting. Wonder if that's standard on these. This stabilizer, steering stabilizer, they add these later in the life of these Ross steering boxes, which is up here. Because they never adjust them. They never keep them updated and keep them adjusted and keep them running right, and they start getting the Jeep wobble. So they add these struts to the front. I mean, it helps, but it doesn't solve the problem. I'm sure this knuckle's gonna need to be addressed. Coilovers
leaf springs, they look good. Oh, looks good. Well, we got our work cut out for us, guys. We sure do. This is probably a tub off job, but that's not what I'm gonna be doing right now. At least I don't think so. But we're gonna replace this gas line. Gonna get that taken care of. Gonna run it through where it originally goes, down the frame, down through the frame. Okay, that's the brake line. But it pops up right here. Okay. Then it'll have a rubber connection that goes to the, then it'll have a rubber connection that'll go to the fuel pump. Let's start seeing what we got here with this fuel tank. We know that's got to go. We know we're going to need a new sending unit. We're going to need a new 90 degree. We're going to I don't know if you guys ever have smelt varnished, old varnished fuel, but it's bad. So I do actually want to see if we can pour any content out of this and see what that content looks like. Mostly looking for rust. I got a clean container. Let's see if anything comes out of here. Oh boy. Did you see the color of that? Oh boy. That's like syrup. That's the nastiest fuel I personally have seen. I don't know if you can see that. It's almost like a thin oil. Alright, good thing we didn't try to use it. But I am not seeing any rust in there. That's a good sign. So what we're going to do, let's tear this apart. See what we can get out of here. Tear this down. I'm going to take it. I'm going to clean it. I don't know that you guys need to watch me clean it. You know, I'm going to scrub. Clean it up. We're going to see what we got. Yeah, we got a little booger right here. Needs to be addressed. But I'm going to soap it up, clean it good, open it up. We're going to put a little weld on that. Close that up. The rest of this is okay. Then we're going to spray paint it up, prime it, clean it. Okay. I think we can reuse this tank. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Don't need that. Don't need that. We'll clean up the straps and we'll reuse those. All right, we got it all tore apart, guys. I'm gonna go take it, clean it up. Let's give the gas tank a cleaning. Just using some general soap. We'll fill it up, shake it out a little bit, get any last varnish that may be in there. Other than that, guys, this tank is definitely reusable. Okay. I recycled the old varnish already, so don't worry, guys. I'm not dumping it on the ground. It's already been recycled. This is only soap and water coming out of here. I got some paint coming. I'm gonna paint it a steel, metallic steel color instead of black. Thought that might look kind of nice. All right, let me put this to rest. Let's go dry it up and put some Ospho on here. The tank's all dried, clean and dried. Let's spray on some Ospho. Stops rust, prepares rusted surfaces for painting. Yeah, I use this stuff quite often. It works really well. It takes a long time. It takes about 24 hours for it to dry and cure. And then you want to apply an oil-based primer over top of it, okay? Doesn't need to be anything special. I use the rusty metal primer, Rust-Oleum rusty metal primer out of my spray gun. Okay, just spray this on the surface. Converts that iron oxide to iron phosphate. Ospho causes iron oxide rust to chemically change to iron phosphate. Okay, and that's what we want. Don't get this stuff on you, as you feel it. You can feel it. It's like a water consistency almost, a little thicker than water. All right. I've already sprayed down my straps. We're good. Gonna let this dry for 24 hours. Dribble off any pooling. We got some pooling here. Just kind of move it around. I'll do that another couple times as it pools up in that corner. This is my makeshift spray booth. All right. Let's get on to something else. So last night was the let's get dirty. Okay. Today, we get a little more cleaner work. So last night, I yanked out the tank, yanked out the filler, the dry rotted filler rubber. It's 2 1/4 inch, by the way, on these. It's only about 6 inches long. You know what? Let me grab it, give you a view of what it looked like. I think we would have, that's maybe like 4 inches, 3 inches. I think we would have dribbled a little fuel out of this, filling it up each time. I got some of this ordered. Got a piece of that ordered up. The gas tank is out being cleaned up, sprayed down. And I removed the old steel fuel line, 1/4 inch. And I replaced it with 1/4 inch copper neck. I really like this stuff. It allows me to work on things with my hand, move it into place as needed. Okay, so we got 1/4 inch line run from the back. I got it a little extra long so I can cut it. We ran it through into the same path as the old. Okay. And we've got it run up by the fuel pump. While I was down here, I got the old broken muffler and the old exhaust out of here. So I have some working room. That's now in the trash. There's nothing salvageable with that. That is in the trash. I hope I can find somebody local that might do a little inexpensive job in here, or I'm going to have to go buy a kit. I just don't have the tools to bend my own piping here. So we'll see on that. So that's the status under here as of now. Let's go ahead and attach the front end of the fuel line to the fuel pump. Get that in place. All right, so we got our fuel line, our new fuel line. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see any of this, guys, but for goodness sakes, I'm trying my best to give you an over-the-shoulder view. I can only do so much here, it seems. The new fuel line. So let's make the connection from the fuel line to the fuel pump, okay? Here's the pieces in order we're going to go. We're going to go with I've got my line fitting, my brass line fitting on there. Okay, it's on there. And it's double flared on the end of that line already. That's a spare piece. We're going to go onto that with this coupler, this brass coupler, and into my 1/4 inch brass hose fitting. Or brass hose barb. Okay? Into a little piece of 1/4 inch fuel line, into the fuel filter, out of the fuel filter, and onto a 1/4 inch barb line that's already on the pump. That was originally on the pump. I'm not going to take it off. We're just going to reuse it. Okay? So let's hook up the coupler first onto the brass onto the fitting. Snug that up. I'm going to go underneath so I can reach it and get that snugged up. I don't think I can do it from up here. And the hose barb. Okay. Let me go down. Let me go underneath. Hit that from underneath. Oh, boy. Maybe a guy should have did that before he ran the line, but you know, it doesn't always happen that way. Doesn't always happen the way we want. And I need one more 9/16 wrench. Guy forget things sometimes. Okay. We're going to snug this coupler on to the hose fitting. It's got an inverted flare, guys, so you don't need any tape, any pipe goop that's going to go up into the filter, okay? Trust the flare. Okay, got her snug. It doesn't need to be over snug. Put on the barb fitting. This one has a 7/16. All right. We're going to have clean fuel coming back to this thing here. We're going to connect up a small piece, 1/4 inch fuel line. Get on there. Okay. Gonna put a wire or a hose clamp on there. I gotta go back underneath. It's just a little easier to work with. Guy can get his mitts in there. A little easier. Okay. Just I can get my mitts in there a little easier. Okay. We're going to plug in. Don't forget to put your other hose clamp on. Put on your fuel filter. Make sure you're going in the right direction, guys. I put an arrow on there, but it's got a little tiny black one showing up right there. Okay. So you got it going in the right direction. Now I put these little inlines here. Although we have a filter right here before the carb, I like putting them on sometimes. I've had an instance where on a CJ-3A, it didn't work too well to have a before the pump fuel filter. And, by the way, Be careful of those cheap plastic ones. You can get like a dozen for $5 on the Jungle website, okay? Those filters, they come apart inside. They disconnect. And then you have no filtering. That paper filter is just floating around inside the plastic. And you got fuel just going from one end to the other, not having to go through the paper. Okay? Careful for those on those guys. Okay, now we're going to measure up a little piece to now go from the filter to the fuel pump barb fitting. Okay? And I would say this'll do. Okay? Don't forget to put your fittings on. Or your hose clamps. Actually, I can put this one on in a minute. Okay. You need 2 hose clamps on there. Let me grab another one. This one is a little boogered up. I don't like this one. He's a little boogered. So I got some extras. I just get these hose clamps from my local hardware store. Okay. Hose clamp. Connecting, making the last connection to the pump. Get on there, fella. Come on. Get on there. You're being a little bit challenging, aren't you? Okay. Toes clamp that up. Oh, there's my towel, my hand towel I was looking for. Okay. And the other one. They used rubber to go from the steel fuel lines to the fuel pump in all these applications because that motor's moving around and the fuel line's buttoned up against the body or the frame of the car. So you got to have that little bit of play or it'll eventually rub that loose or bend that. Then you got yourself a little bit of a problem too. Okay. All right, guys. That's going to do it for that application. We got fuel going from fuel pump, or we got new fuel line and a fuel filter from the fuel pump to the rear end. We're going to wait for that. We're going to wait on the fuel tank to dry and get painted up. Then we'll reassemble and we'll have clean fuel. We'll be able to go scooter. All right, so since we've got this elevated and the gas tank is out of the way, let's address draining and cleaning out this Dana 44 rear axle. It's going to be a simple job. Okay, I'm going to first use some cleaner. I really like this stuff, guys, from the big box warehouse store. Works really good, and it's inexpensive product. I put it in a spray bottle, spray it on, let it sit for a little bit, and then clean it off, okay? We're gonna remove the cover plate, clean it up a little bit, and then get inside those gears. I know it has some sludge. I put a little bit of gear oil in there already just to kind of get things loosened up on a couple of little test drives we did. So I picked up a Dana 44 gasket, okay? And I've got some soap and water and a little scrub pad. Okay. I got some mineral spirits in a spray can, okay? Just local store mineral spirits. That's what we're going to use for inside to flush the inside out. All right, so let's go ahead and drain out this fluid. Make sure you remove the cap from your drain pan. And this one, the Yoke driveline seal leak. So we're going to have to get in there and replace that at some point, but not right now. And that's got a nasty color, guys. I'm glad I added some fluid and drove it around a little bit to help flush this out. Yeah, it's nasty. And grab some more paper towels. Guy needs paper towels all the time. Never have enough paper towels. But this thing, we're gonna do the right thing and bring the whole roll over. That's a yucky milky color. We can clean this cap off better once we get it off. Okay. Just wiping it down. The Jeep's not a beauty. We're just putting lipstick on the pig. Remember? This isn't a restore. Not a restoration. I just say that for another fella. Okay, let's pop this plate off. 1/2 inch. Thankfully, everything's coming off all right. This brake line back here is a mess, guys. It's broken. As you can see, we got a broken brake line. I don't know if you can see that or not. But that's all going to have to get replaced. So, in an upcoming episode, we'll be doing brakes. Gotta get this dirty stuff done. While you're dirty, get the dirty stuff done. Now, be careful here when you pop this off, okay? Don't get in there and jar it and bend up your plate. Yeah, boy. That'll get you. Yeah, see, there's some sludge on the bottom, guys. And I'm in a little puddle of water here. Let's dry that up. I'm tired of my arm getting in there. Tired of getting the wet arm. All right. Now, make sure all your gasket's removed off there. It is. It's stuck to the plate side. You can spin that around. Looky there. That's a little... That's where it's been sitting in some water or something right there, guys. There might be... There's a little bit of corrosion right there. Nothing we're really going to worry about. Not that bad. Other than that, all the teeth look good. Okay, we're going to spray in some mineral spirits now. See if we can't flush this out a little bit. Get in there and kind of wipe it down some. Get out that sludge. There it is. There's the sludge hanging out at the bottom. That's what we want to get out of here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to hit this with a little brake cleaner just on the bottom of the pan. Okay. There we go. Now she's flushed out of there. Little brake cleaner on the gasket surface. Very good. Let's let that drain. I'm going to go clean the pan. All right, we've got the cover pan cleaned up. We're keeping it vintage. We're not going to spray paint it and make cover pan that's black and the rest of it. We're keeping it looking vintage. We just want to know that it's been cleaned and parts are in a healthy order, okay? Keeping the original bolts. Hopefully I've got them all. And guys, if you're wondering, guys and gals, mainly you gals, if you're wondering if I took this up to the kitchen sink to clean it, the answer is, of course I did. No, I did not. I've got this new gasket that I haven't tried before, okay? It's got a rubber, it's got three rubber lips around it on both sides. I don't know if you can see that or not. And it's like a metal. So internally it's a metal gasket. So I'm going to give this one a try. I haven't used this before. I don't think I'm going to use Permatex on here of any sorts. And by the way, fellas, if you're using a permanent gasket maker on here, like a shellac or something, stop. Okay? Just stop. It was ridiculous to get off. It didn't just peel off. I had to use the sander, and I had to get in there and sand the damn thing apart and make a big old mess all over me, all over the garage, to get the gasket off. Stop using whatever that was that the old timer used. Okay? I'm going to use some Pro Grade gray tape, PTFE tape, on this plug, just to help it along a little bit, guys. These things don't hold their liquids that well. Okay? They don't hold their liquids any longer. I'll give it a helping hand. Help it along a little bit. Okay. Plugs in. Let's put this plate on. Line her up. Get one started. Okay. I cleaned up the bolts a little bit. We know this is leaking at the yoke. Like I said, that'll be another day. Okay, I can get into this a lot easier without the gas tank on there. And we'll let it sit for a few days and see if any leaks happen. Because that gas tank still being cleaned up. Oh yeah, and don't forget the hook up the brake line. Even though we're going to be replacing it, let's get her on there. Actually, let's not. We'll come back. Put that on. All right. Let me touch this on there. Just a little bit to give me a little helping hand. We're going to torque these to 25 psi. Okay? All right. Okay, guys, we're just going to torque this to a 25 pounds. Okay, don't need to kill them. You don't need to snap off bolts. Okay? Especially when you're reusing the old originals. Last thing you want to do is be breaking stuff. Okay, be nice. Play nice. All right, 25 PSI. Let's take this plug out, fill her up. Or 25 pounds, not PSI. You all know what I meant. You all know what I meant, didn't you? Okay, guys. I just keep reusing one of these bottles. Okay? I just fill them up. Because those little soft plastic ones, these flex fills, they're expensive, guys, to get that. So I'm using some Harvest King, guys. This is what's available to me. 80 weight, 90 gear oil. Protects against rust and foam, and it also protects against corrosion of copper and bronze bushings. Okay? Even though there's this whole thing going around saying don't use GL5 because it doesn't protect against the brass bushings that are in these transmissions and whatnot. It says it, guys. Protects against corrosion of copper and bronze bushings. All right? I gotta believe it. It's local. It's a good value. Plus, I don't have to keep throwing stuff into the trash, guys, and be wasteful. I can just keep reusing. No need to throw extra stuff away every time when you can just reuse. That's how I do it. All right. Let's get some paper towels under there, because I'll probably spill. Probably gonna spill. Right? Fill it up, and you guys know you just fill it up to where you just fill it right at the level with your finger. Maybe if a little dribble comes out, you know you're good. Okay? And this just fills it right up. It's a squeeze bottle. You don't need to pay extra for those expensive flex squeezes. Get in the gym if you need to and work on those forearms. Whoa, excuse me. It's the bottle. It's the bottle, guys. All right, there's one bottle. See there, guys? That's one bottle. That's one flex bottle that doesn't go into the landfill. Okay. Don't need any more. You gave me enough. This professional grade tape. My plugs. Versus the white. PTFE tape versus the white tape. Okay. All right. All right, there we have it, guys. The rear diff flushed, cleaned up, wipe dry. We'll monitor that, see if it leaks. Okay. Well, we know we got clean fluids. We know we don't have any sludge in there anymore. All right. Woohoo! We'll do the front. We'll work on the front tomorrow. I'm going to go inside and I'm going to go hang out with the family for a little bit. Okay, have some dinner. Call it a night. We'll be out here bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll do the front. Same thing on the front. That's Dana 25. Well, it's the next morning. I'm bundled up. I prefer arm sleeves over jackets, double layers. It's chilly in southern Colorado this morning. It's going to be a rainy day. But let's get in. I've already, last night when I finished the rear, I came around the front and I drained the fluid on this. It looked milky just like the front or the rear. I drained it and I sprayed it with some of my degreaser just to knock off some of the dirt so we can get into this, drop it down, okay? Let's go ahead and well, where did the fella put his tool? Already. Thought I had everything ready to go. I'm already missing my tools. Half inch. For crying out loud. Well, where'd you go? Where'd you go, little fella? Well, crying out loud. There it is. It's sitting on the torque wrench from yesterday's work. Okay. I didn't lose you. I just misplaced you, didn't I? But for crying out loud, I don't have my... Oh, yeah, right here. I'm thinking the coffee hasn't kicked in yet, guys. All right. Working on the 25 here. And I need the longer extension to reach some of these because we got steering in the way. And if I want to use my quick tool, I'm gonna have to make some changes. Okay. I have This is a Lowe's or the Cobalt tool, right? It's weird, guys. I don't. Maybe you guys could leave me a comment. But I have a problem. My socket sets that go on to this, I have to put them in the right direction so they snap on. I don't know if it's the tool or if it's my Craftsman sockets, but I have to turn it and get it just right for it to snap on. I don't know if anybody else has got that issue. It's not a big deal, it's just sometimes a little annoying. All right, I get them all out of there. Now these have got these little air vents on them, guys. They got to breathe, right? Little vent. That inside gets moving around. It's got to breathe, or you blow out some seals if too much pressure gets in there. Be careful on pulling these off, like I said on the back. Right? Don't go mucking up. Ooh, there's the thick. There's some of that sludge, guys. Okay. Oh, yeah. She's dirty in there. She's dirty. I got the gasket. Well, the gasket came off on both sides on this one. And they didn't use whatever gasket sealer glue they used on the rear, on the front. All right, let's move this out of the way. Okay, set that aside. Let's start spraying some mineral spirits in there. Now we're going to reuse these bolts again. I'm going to pre-soak them in my degreaser. Start getting them clean while we're doing the rest of this job. So I'm just going to drop them in there, let them soak. Okay, I'm going to let that soak as well. The drain plug. Speaking of soaking, the hot tub felt real nice last night. Relaxing, getting inside, getting a little relax on, guys. Guy needs to wind down every once in a while. Ooh, so that's mucky. That is some good old muck in there. All right, let's start getting some. First, get this in there and get it working. Let me get my brush. Get in there and clean. Little brake cleaner. just to clean off that seal. Wear the mask, guys. Gray Teflon tape. Put the plug in. And then we'll clean up this mess. Alright guys, let me clean up the mess. Get rid of this pan out of the way. Let's get ready to put that cover plate on. Alright guys, we're all cleaned up. Somebody boogered up the cover plate a little bit. Probably trying to pry it off at some point of its life. So I went ahead and filed down the rough edges. Got it cleaned up. Cleaned up the vent, put the vent back on there. We're going to assume that's good. Got the gasket ready to go. Again, this is a nice thick gasket here, guys. This one's a Fel-Pro. I'm going to go ahead and use it as is. I'm not going to give this guy any little helper on this one. I feel pretty confident with these. A lot of people will muck this stuff all up. I want to give it a try on this newer stuff, just to let it do its job. Okay? Got my gear oil. Got the bolts all cleaned up. I wanted to show you something. Come on in here. Let's show you what we found. Okay, let's see if we can get you in here. Well, we've got hold on. I guess I don't know if you can see this or not. But we've got let's turn this. We've got a mucked up ring gear. See, a little chunk of tooth is out of there. Here. This thing's been used. So the insides of this are going to have to be replaced someday. I don't know if the pinion gears are going to be chewed up. Pinion gear is going to be chewed up on this probably. So there's a couple pieces chunked out of this. This is why we inspect. We just do some, these minor inspections when we're cleaning them up before we start dumping a bunch of money into these projects. Just get in there and do a couple days of work and get an inspection done on these. Close up, you can get an idea of what you're working with. All right. So at some point this Dana 25, the internals on this, we're gonna have to yank it out, replace it. Not happening right now. We're just reviving right now. Okay, we're just getting this revived. It's going to do what we need it to do for now. We're not going to go out there and go four-wheel it. In the meantime, let's go ahead and put this cover plate back on. Use the existing bolts on this project. Okay. You want to come in and do a full overhaul, so be it. But for right now, we know somebody's got to come in here and get that fixed up. Okay, so don't need to overdo it. Sent my daughter off to the big market store. Give me some brake cleaner. And she calls me up when she's there. She says, Dad, they won't let me get it because I'm not 18 yet. Almost. I'm like, oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. She had to drive over there for nothing. Let's just snug this on, and then we'll torque it. 25 foot-pounds again. .25 foot-pounds. And when you got a long extension on here, your torquing's going to be a little off. But it's going to be okay for this old girl. But if you're really getting precise, and you need the precision, just be aware that the longer the extension, the further off you're going to be. Click. 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 All right, guys, let's fill her up. I already got the Teflon tape on. Okay. I already pre-filled my little squeezable bottle, just like the rear. Okay. That's just the lid coming off. Getting there. Let me go get a little more in this bottle. Okay, let me go refill her. Let's plug her up. Teflon tape's on the plug. So we know we don't need to do a whole lot of work on this front axle because it needs some internals worked on. Okay. So let's not spend a whole lot of effort on this guy. Just to get the fluids changed on this axle. All right. At least we know it's clean, it's inspected. But we know what we're dealing with. We know what's up. There we go. All right, guys, gals. So we went ahead and the front and rear diff is cleaned out, inspected. We know what we're working with. As soon as I can get a chance to paint up that tank, we'll get that fuel tank back, loaded back into place. And then we've got clean fuel going from tank to pump. We'll give this a little test drive. We'll go scooter it around the block again, okay? Another bite of that elephant taken care of. Then we'll dig into that T90 and that Data 18. That's going to be a project in itself. It's caked. It's absolutely caked with old decades of grease and oil. We're going to have to clean it really well so I can even get to the bolts. We'll come back. I'm going to take care of some administrative duties, aka clean the garage, for next time. It's time to get this painted up with an oil-based primer. I'm just gonna finish up what I got left in here. That's the end of my quart burner. All done. Let me rinse this out with a little mineral spirits. Mineral spirits for oil-based paints, guys. All done. Just there. That'll do. We'll wait. Put the top coat on. Call it good. Well, the fella's ready to put his fuel tank back on. Got it painted. I went ahead and painted it. I had a nice day today. Had to get it done ASAP. We're running out of those nice sunny days here. But a guy almost made a big boo-boo. Okay, let me show you what I mean. And we had to hack into this gas tank for this DJ-3A. Guys, these are hard to find. This size, the specs, the 2 1/4 inch input. It's a tough tank to find. You got to hold on to them. This one's in really good shape. There's not any rust in there, but it did have its problem. Hence why I had to get my hand in here. So this is just a quick video of what I found, what I diagnosed, and some suggestions for you guys. One, the pickup tube line was completely clogged. I failed to check that. My bad, my problem, my ignorance. I painted it up, I got it nice and pretty, and I was ready to test it, and I said, Sean, I was ready to put it in there. I said, Sean, throw some air down that pickup line before you get this all assembled up and see if it blows. See if it goes through. And sure enough, it was clogged. Tighter, it was clogged up tighter than Toby's assets on colonoscopy day. So, a fellow had to get in there and say, what do you do? Well, you can't get your hand in there to get down to the pickup line. So I was like, I'm not going to buy a new tank. You can't get them. I'm not going to fabricate one. I'm not a fabricator. I don't have that resource. So I just chopped it open. I know I could weld it back together. We do it all the time. You know, they're welded all the time. So that's what we did. We chopped it open. Pulled out, unclogged. The filter was trash. I ordered a new 5/16. Those pickup lines in that tank is a 5/16 line. You can pick up an inexpensive screen that sits in the bottom of that pickup line that sits on the bottom of the tank. Got a little screen so you don't suck up all the junk might be in the bottom of those tanks. Picked up one of those 5/16 screens, and it's on the way. It's coming from the interwebs. Okay? Can't get that locally. So the other issue was I saw that the float cork. This is the sending unit. This is a gas tank sending unit, guys. Right? Empty, full, empty, full. Well, it's a resistance on this. It's a really simple device. It's by resistance. It gives us ohms. 75-ish to 90 in the empty position and up to about 8 to 12 in the full position. I'm going to show you that. But anyway, as you can see, the cork is all mucked up. It's got as much varnish, old gas varnish on there. So that thing was just going to sink anyway. So that's a sink and float. That's not going to work, right? But the point of this little video was to demonstrate that, hey, these things look bad, but for a few bucks, a new float, test your sending unit, guys, before you go ahead and just toss it out. I just wanted to toss it out, but then I was like, let's test this and see how it goes. Okay, so that's what we're going to just do a quick video on here. Testing your sending unit, right? And see if it works. I cleaned up some of this. Clean up the rust off these and clean up so you can make a good contact, right? Clean it up a little bit. But we're going to check the ohms, okay? The horseshoe. Right? We're checking resistance on this. We're going to put the positive side to the indicator lead here. That would run to the fuel gauge, right? This is your sensor lead, runs to the fuel gauge. And then these just get grounded to themselves, okay? So we're going to ground to itself here. Bear with me here. Okay. Now we're going to run this in, let's switch hands. Well, fellas. Well, come on. Come on, feller. Okay, we got our positive, we got our negative. Okay? And like I said, when we're empty, we should be somewhere around 75, 80 to 90 ohms. Okay, this is the empty. Down is empty. And you should be able to see that here on the meter. We're reading 78, 77, 78. And as we move up the gas line up, you can see the decrease in resistance. We should be sitting around 9-ish, 10 on the full. Okay? This one works, guys. Back down to 75, 72, 75. Feel like my fingers are slipping. Full, 8.5, and anywhere in between, okay? You're going to get a reading to measure your line. Wanted to point this out, guys, just to say, test your sending units before you go dropping money in and getting some new modern China or some other kind of version that might be out on the markets. Give them a check. Give them a chance. Right? Hope that helps out somebody in the future. All right, the parts came in. This is the 5/16 inch screen I was talking to you about, a few bucks from the interweb. It's going to go onto the pickup line that's sitting in here. Okay, this 5/16 pickup line. Fits right on there, guys. And then make sure we bend this down to the bottom of the tank. So we're picking up from the bottom of the tank again. Okay, I had to bend it up a little bit. So let's make sure we're all the way down to the bottom of the tank. And I can blow through it. All right, let's tack this on. Tack this back in place. Finishing up this weld. Well, I can't speak for you guys, but I'm ready to get this old tank back in this old girl today and get on with a little scoot. We got our float in. We got our 90 degree in. We got it all painted up and secured up. It doesn't leak. Let's go ahead and drop this girl in. Move on from the fuel system. All right, I think I've got everything laid out, ready to go, so we don't have to fiddle too much with this. Okay, it's nice. I've got a nice hole in the floorboard, as you guys saw earlier, that I can reach the top wire. Let's put I've got a replacement filler tube. Okay, this one obviously was dry rotted and old. I did get a replacement filler tube. Let's get this in place. This is 2 1/4 inch, guys, for these DJs. Yeah, well, you know what? The very first tool I need, feller didn't bring it over. Unbelievable. Unacceptable. I bet it's over here. I just don't see it. All right, tighten down the hose clamp. Check. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of lube on that so it slides on there easier for me. Not going to fight it, but I don't have to. Just to help me out, help a guy out a little bit. You know, you got this stuff sitting around the house forever. You use it once, and then you never use it again. Just a little spray of white lithium grease in this so I can make it easier on myself to slide the tank onto this filler cap. That's all. That's all we're doing. Okay? Again, I'll be able to reach these components from top. I'll be able to cut my line. I've got it in place. Okay, the fuel line's in place. We'll be able to cut it from up top. I'll show you. Now, let's get this in there. Slide it on the filler cap. See there, that grease, a little bit of help was nice to have. Don't forget your hose clamp, guys. All right? Don't do it. Don't forget it. Let's do this again. There we go. All right, guys, I put the fill hose on first. Save yourself some effort so you're not trying to tighten that hose clamp up around the frame. Okay. Well, my goodness sakes. You definitely want to be a little booger. You definitely want to be a booger right now, don't you? Get on there. Come on. Okay. It's all about the angles. It's all about the angles. And I don't have the right one. Nope. Sure don't. I sure don't. I sure don't. Woo. It's a battle. Battle of wits right here. Being a battle of wits right here. There you go. There you go. It's a battle of wits. Who's gonna prevail? That's right. That's right. Right there. It's on. Let's get a strap on this thing. Let them fall down on my head. Okay. Come on, old girl. Not much more. Okay. Give me my half. Okay. Looking good. You're doing good. Washer. Lock washer. Nut. The nut. Where in the heck's the nut? I kicked the nut way over there. Of course I did. Into the mouth to hold it. So we always. Who else does that? Yeah. Okay. lock washer. It's over here. Now get on there. Can't see a dang thing. Got to be a contortionist. You know, I didn't know that. That's one of the requirements. To be working on the old vintage vehicles, you got to be a contortionist. All right. Woo! Make my life a little easier getting that on there. Okay. Let's hook up the other strap. Well, what do we got here? Why is that so small? Wow, who knew? Who knew there's two separate sizes? Are you kidding me? Well, that can't be right. That is not right. That's not right. Let's get this hose clamp figured out here. Let me hook up this hose clamp before I forget. There is no way that there's two different size tank straps. I'm not buying it. I got something wrong. Okay, let's go topside and take a look. I got a hole, a little peephole. You know, that's the bonus. That's my bonus. Okay, go on topside. All right, come on in here and take a look. Here's our fuel line. We need to cut it, get it into place into our fitting. You can see where I got the rusty old hole. I can access this. So there's supposed to be, like on this side over here, there's a piece of wood that was right here holding, keeping this from going side to side, right? Like a brace, if you will. Here, but obviously that got rusted all out. So we don't have that right now. So we're going to be using the piece of wood on this side and the tank straps to hold this in place. But we're first going to go ahead and cut my line. Okay. Feller wants it right here. Okay. The positive of having a rusty out tub is you can reach things from topside. It makes life a little easier. Right? It's got its perks. It's got its perks. I already showed you guys how to flare earlier. Make sure you put your Make sure you put your line nut on, okay? First, before you start flaring. Especially when you got everything in place. You don't want to booger it up now. Take your time here. Get out the burr. Okay. Hose nuts on. We're good. Remember, we set our flaring tool to the first step. Okay? Tighten her down. Make sure you're on proper in the back. Okay. It's all lined up. Snug. Okay. Another nice flare, guys. All right. We're going to have gas in this before long. Nice, clean gas. We don't need to worry about the electricals. The gauges aren't hooked up anyway. I have access to it right here. Okay, here's my sensor wire. All right, guys. This copper nickel line bends nice. I like it. It's long. It's durable. It's rust resistance. Okay. It's good stuff. All right, let's go back downside. Let's hook up the... Now, I better ask the wife if I've got my tetanus shot lately. Playing on this stuff. Well, for those who don't believe me, there's two different size straps. One for the left, one for the passenger side, one for the captain side. Okay? Who would have thought? Now, fella, me taking a look at that first, but I just would have assumed it'd be the same size. That's the weirdest thing. But that's what we got. That's what we got. And we got fine threads in the rear. It's already pre-nutted. Set nuts on there already. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Not making it up. Not making it up. Now, where did I kick that knot to? Where did I kick that one off to? You guys ever do that? You're squilling around under your vehicles. Next thing you know, you can't find your stuff and it's kicked way past your legs. It seems like it happens more than it doesn't. For me, anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and tighten these up. Maybe they're the same size. They're just bent a little differently. Because everything's all bent up down here. You know, it's seen 72 years of life, I guess. So it's, you know, it's a little bent up. Doesn't like to be part swapped around. Alright, guys. There she is. She's in there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see anything or not, but I'm going to get you down there. Here's the tank. You're looking underneath. Okay. There you go. Strapped up. It's in there. Let's drop this off the jacks. Fill it with gas. And let's scooter. Coming down. Coming down in Bay Warren. All right, we're going to need to help her out a little bit. Gonna have to prime it. She doesn't have any fuel in the line, so we're gonna have to give her some help. Whoops, 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 whoops. Too much, too much. Way too much. Way too much. All right, let's see if she kicks over. For goodness sakes. Let's see if she fires up. Don't sit on the screwdriver. Come on, old girl. Got all fresh fuel. Oh, we got to fill it up with fuel. About 5 gallons ought to do. I don't see any wetness down there yet, other than my own jug drips. I cut back from like the driver's seat back in the exhaust, so the muffler is definitely gone, although it was all rotted through. And so we got a short pipe. Don't know what that's gonna do. All hell could break loose. All right, let's see if we can get this to fire up. And then go scooter. Okay, we need to get it to pull fuel. Gotta get it to pull fuel from the gas tank. There it comes. I see it filling up the bowl. We're getting gas from the tank. Let's go scoot. We still have no brakes. All right, but we're gonna go for a ride around the block. New fuel lines, new fuel tank, fix. guys, we're gonna wrap up this episode, this old gal. We did the fuel tank, we did the fuel line, we got it all connected up, clean. We ran into some surprises, as expected, but we worked through it. We changed the front and rear diffs, fluids, flushed, cleaned, and inspected. Now we're gonna enjoy our Thanksgiving. To my family and your family, happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays. And let me know in the comments if you want me to do the brakes next or the Dana 18 and transmission, the transfer case and the transmission on this thing. You know, let me know. I don't know yet which one I want to do. Sometimes it's just what I feel like. Weather, whatever. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe if you want to see the next episodes coming out. And I have plenty of other projects I'll be doing. Take care. Happy holidays.